Let me show you something here. I'm hoping this comes through, but do you notice on this head this curve of the hairline, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You kind of have one of those, I know.
I got a good one. I'm a good example of a walking mannequin head.
Right. And so the curve there comes into play. And let me show you what when you were saying this is a good example of the place to put hair, I would say in some cases going higher for a reason, because that area that you're talking about that so many people stay with, and I've done it on the weft and the strands, but let me just show you with the weft because this one's a better example. If I were to put hair where, and now this drops down low, just imagine it goes straight around.
Sure.
The hair goes to here. That's as far forward as I can go because I'm trying to stay away from that hairline.
Yeah, you're trying to stay away from that hairline there, yeah.
And so what ends up happening is that hair hangs from here, right? But the client's hair is going to possibly, depending on the part, and let's see, it's parted the other way. So the hair on the front of the head will sometimes hang on a person's head as far as there, but we're only able to put extensions into here because we're only at this level on the head. We got to stay away from this hairline.
Right.
So when you go higher, you're able to go further forward. So this is limiting. When I put hair in on a person's head only to here, and I stay low on the side of the head, I've got that big, I don't know if my hand's strong enough to hold this here. I've got this big open section here with a little bit of hair here and all that bang area. So the only way I'm going to really cover that eye like her real hair does, because this is where the challenge is. So many extensions have that chunk missing. Like you see the client's hair here, it stops right here, and then the extensions are way back here. And the only way you blend extensions with the front, and I made this mistake a lot of times, is to take that hair and go a little higher so I can go
a little closer to that hairline.
It's sticking. Look,
it's sticking to the mannequin, right? All that stubbles. You
right.
know, the thing is, you got to have a dedicated part to be able to do that, because now what you're talking about is instead of using the hairline, now you're using like the arch of the eyebrow. And if you come up and if you got a good widow's peak going on, the corner of your widow's peak, that's where you would end up. You'd be able to apply in there. You still got enough hair to, well, my hair's short, but I mean, you'd still have enough hair to come over to cover it up. You'd be able to place that in here a lot closer. That's going to drop down through there. That's going to drop down through there. That's how you're going to be able to truly create and fill in the face framing that everybody so desires, but is so commonly cut off. Imagine how many times you see somebody, they've got long hair, and the layering and the framing goes from short to long, and they're always pushing their hair forward. Every time somebody's pushing their hair forward, that's the number one client I want to do a consult with, because adding in a pack of hair on each side of the head, or a row of five, you're creating 10 pieces on the one side. A row of five, you're adding another 10 pieces on the other side, and you're filling that in through there, and you're just filling all of that in, because anytime you see somebody push their hair forward, they are subconsciously feeling naked.